Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show, Trading Idea with SMARTRobie. I'm your host, Martin Wong. As we look across the region, which is the KLSE, the US market, as well as the Singapore market, and of course, welcome back to all our Muslim friends. Hope you had a good Hari Raya Haji, where I've seen many of you, I think, stay safe and stay alert to and did not balik kampung. And I think that would somehow lower down the cases that we have in the Malaysia. Now we all know the Delta variant has continued to spread, and that is causing a lot of complications and a lot of cases rising up. But the only way out, I do believe, and many of you would agree, is vaccination. So I do hope that you have taken your vaccination, if not ready to go for your second vaccination, or some of you may be on a first vaccine. But let's look at what we have for you this morning in our SMARTRobie. That's right. Now this morning, one of the things that we will talk about today is this highlight here is the technology talk that I'll be doing tonight at 9:30. So make sure you check it out with me at 9:30. All right. And of course, last but not least is the situation that we have in the market. Many people are talking about what's actually happening right now, Martin, is the COVID cases causing the market to collapse. Is the Delta variant and the more cases, is that happening right at locally, or is that also happening at the US market? Those are the questions I will attempt to answer for you this morning. But of course, not before our headline that we have this morning in here is the Wednesday. That's right, Wednesday we'll be looking at some of the stocks that has been trending very nicely in here. Of course, from last Wednesday, many of you have known we picked some of the technology stock that has started to move up, and also the rubber glove. The rubber glove is coming back in play. This is due to the Delta variant causing a lot of havoc in the economy, as well as a lot more closing down and the continuation of the MCO. So we'll check out some of those news too. But last but not least, let's look at our headline this morning. Now the Fitch, which is the rating, continued to give a thumbs up rating to Malaysian resilience, saying that despite what we had, Malaysia is still continue to grow over the years, GDP. But do take note, our KLCI has really stagnant or the last 5 to 6 years. We hasn't really moved up. No doubt the economy is still holding up very nicely, but this news is trying to break to us that of the continuous spending that we have because of the economic stimulus that we are putting out with the COVID vaccine that we are buying. So we are actually carrying a little bit more debt. So our deficit will probably hit 7%. Now remember, during Najib time and during Lim Guan Ying's time, we were trying to bring the deficit to under 3 and 3.5. Having said that, now we are already more than 100% above in here. So the question is, will this ever bring it down? But in my opinion, the deficit will very unlikely to brought down at the lower level in here. We can only see higher. We can see this is a pertaining trend which is also going in US, where we see more and more bonds buying, keeping the interest rate low. So that's how country is going. Now also take note, the debt level cannot be taken in as a household debt compared to the country debt. Household debt is merely saying that, look, you cannot spend more than what you earn. But from a country standpoint, we don't see that way. Country is always growing. People continue to pay tax. But do take note, they should not be compared in a right page. All right, take note about that. If you do that, then everything will fall out of place, because usually country are allowed to continue to spend, debts continue to go high. So the question is, the economic model need to be taken differently. But let's look at what we have this morning so far, where the market is. Of course, we came back from a nice short break yesterday where Bursa was closed, and let's look at the KLCI. Right now, as you can see, the last update that we have, the CI is almost unchanged, hitting 1520, which is, in my opinion, the so-called resistance level. But one of the things I didn't like, you can see right at the top right hand side, which is the uptrust. All right, the uptrust. Now uptrusts are generally not very good. You can see the last two uptrusts, the market fade and actually come back a bit lower. Will we see this a retest back to 1500? Market, of course, will continue to go higher if and we have low, what we call low volume accumulation, and probably take out of the uptrust. The uptrust, which is the 1530 level, that is the level that the market need to break up. If we continue to break up, that's good. But no doubt, the market's now started to do what we call a level horizontal accumulation, what we see right here now. Very nice sign, and that's something we want to see. And I think maybe in a not too distant future, I suppose when we're looking at maybe August, we will see green pentagon. Usually the market takes about 7 to 8 weeks, the kind of accumulation, then it will start to break out. So let's hope that if we do break out, where we see likelihood the banking stock will come back. And also the rubber stock has started to move, and that's what we are seeing now. Now, if you look at the banking stock, definitely want to look at Maybank. And this is the Maybank stocks that we have. All right, so let's take a look at the Maybank stock. And where do we get for the Maybank stock? So here you can see very obvious. You can see chart continue to go downwards. It's going to probably very similar because Maybank is one of the biggest cap. So Maybank going to move sideways. Our KLCI will also move sideways. So Maybank need to have a green pentagon for the KLCI to have green one. Take note, readers, you have to understand that they don't separate that much. This is how the Bursa works. All right, let's go on to our next news. Now, next news is going to be on, right, the recovery that we've seen on the energy pickup. Now this morning on the Starbase, they talk about how much the all energy prices, which is the WTI, has moved up, but the energy sector has not really carried higher, and this is also due to the big drag down by Server Dynamics. Then some of the members or the public may have gotten into Server Dynamics. That quest is not done yet. Now after last week, let's take a look at Server Dynamics for the chart, okay, that we have here. Okay, switching to a wider chart in here. So Server Dynamics has been the big dragger of this as it presented in here. You can see after that falling, we can see climatic volume here, and usually two types of climatic volume. One type of climatic volume will arrest any of the downtrend which we have on the left hand side of the chart. But then the more recent one, we have a climatic volume that also arrests this market from moving higher. Any climatic volume is seen to be a distribution, and that's what we are seeing right now, that the market is actually coming down lower and lower. At one point of time, will this thing go higher? It all going to depends on the outcome of the appointment of the auditor in here. So news continue to move sideways, and that's what we are hearing and seeing this market in here. Does it represent an opportunity to buy? Definitely a no in here. Focus on something that has better opportunity, which we're going to talk about later down here. All right, so let's look at another oil and gas in here. Another big player is Armada. Okay, Bumi Armada. Let's hit that one. And you can see from stock chart and stock comment again, also very similar, still coming out a really downtrend in here. This needs to go through some sort of accumulation and removing of sellers for the market to be able to go higher. So take note of this one. Let's move on to our next news here, and it's going to be focused on renewable energy. That's right, SolarVest. Now, if you look at SolarVest, with a lot of continuum of LSS and LSS5 project. So SolarVest are doing pretty well, winning a lot of the jobs contract, and this news is talking about it in here. A lot of brokers are pretty positive on it, but having said that, SolarVest continue to follow the same trend that you are seeing also in US, where I talked about renewable energy last Saturday. That's right. So the renewable energies continue to be hampered by the so-called subsidy that has been taken off by the sort of subsidy has expired from the US standpoint in there. So that's why the stock prices are coming down. The subsidy was to subsidize people in moving into renewable energy. So will they go through another new subsidy? I would think so. that will probably be the Biden green energy move. So all the markets now seems to be waiting for more initiative or news coming up from the green energy movement. Now the analysts are talking about this news, SolarWest, is due to the decline in the last 24% in the past month. This is due to the COVID and local restriction. In my opinion, I don't think so. It's just basically following the same trend that you can check it out and type out some of the energy solar like Canadian Solar, which I've been talking about in here. So the news now does give this a good opportunity. Those of you who are in the wanted to have some exposure to the green energy movement in here, SolarWest is definitely for one. It has all the positive news going in here, and you could see market is rebounding in here. We do have a little bit of high volume coming in, and that's somehow arrested the market going lower. At one point we will see green Pentagon, and this market is likely going to move back up in tandem what we see. Remember earlier on we talked about the technology stocks, right? The Apple stocks, the semiconductors, all US is moving, right? So they are the big brothers. So they already move. Then we saw, now only we see Penta, JHM, JF Tech, Great Tech, UWC, they started to move now. So that is a trend that many of our Malaysian investor and trader can actually see. So go over to the SMARTRobie of US and look at those trends, because that is probably your best early signal to know. And the same thing is going to happen to the solar and also renewable energy sectors. I'm just waiting for it, and if we do come, I will be here to inform you for that one. So just be very patient with SL West. Just wait for the green Pentagon. Now let's move on to our next news, which is talked about by Starbiz. It's also about Yinsun. That Yinsun now, looking forward, the so-called oil and gas, the energy sector seems to have a very gloomy future. I mean, if you look at all the big oil and gas, except for US, which tends to have a little bit more denial that they say that the climate change is not that severe, but the Europeans oil and gas player like BP and Shell are moving to green energy. So Yinsun is doing pretty much the same. They are recycling their capital. Some of their asset which has never been profitable, they are selling off probably at a discount or probably at a fair price and moving it into renewable energy. And this story is all about in here. So they're moving into renewable energy, which in many ways will become a competitor to SolarWest, but I do believe the renewable energy is quite big, as such that they are going into bigger power capacity regeneration in here, established in a couple of markets, going towards North America, South America, and Australia. That is where the big money is, and they are willing to invest into it. So this is we are seeing this kind of trend coming in here. So Yinsun, again, be very patient. Just take a look at Yinsun chart. So it's good to see a company traditionally being the oil and gas FSPO moving into this renewable energy. They're able to reinvent themselves. Okay, switching to a wider chart in here, and you can see one thing I like about Yinsun is the support that we're seeing at 5 ringgit in here. So just be patient. Again, wait for the green Pentagon if you want to take some sort of action on this stock for Yinsun. Now let's go on to the next market that we have is the US market. Now, having been said a lot about Delta variant, I think on Monday night we have a big 700 point sell-off that we have in the Dow Jones. That the Delta variant seems to be a big issue that causes the market to tank like what we had last year in February 2020. And many of our retail investor and also retail trader are saying that, hey, are we experiencing what we see last year, February 2020, to what we see right now due to the Delta variant? Because of the Delta variant, the viral rate about 1,000 times. Almost, if a person who have Delta variant come into contact, those of them who are not protected, and that's what you can see. Even in Australia right now, as we speak on, there are only about 100 over cases, and yet they are locking down everything, especially in New South Wales. So this Delta variant is very serious. But the question is, will this cause more hospitalization or more death? That is the question mark in here. But somehow yesterday, the stock market were able to rebound, to shake it off. Now, we do not know. I was expecting uptrust in the over in the morning, but it didn't have an uptrust. So that tells you they were able to shake it out, right? Where the certain stocks, definitely the travel and also the airline stock has been badly hit. But the technology stock, they all rebounded. And as I know before, last year when we saw the April and March rebound, a lot of tech stocks did move up, and I do think similar trend will also happen if they're going to lock down. I personally don't think there will be a lockdown. Having said that, but some shares will probably go through some sort of bit of minor correction here. But what's very positive about this is the number of deaths. If the death and hospitalization were to maintain, no doubt they're higher compared to what they had previously, because the vaccination between the blue states are definitely higher than the red state, is because many people choose not to vaccinate in US. But even if you look towards the UK, what's happening right now, Boris Johnson government continue to open up, and they have a Freedom Day yesterday. So that has caused huge concern for some of the conservatives, saying that they open too fast, too soon. But they did already say if they don't open up in the summer, which is right now, going to the fall, it will even be glooming. So they wanted the economy to adjust to it. And I think in many ways, even the Malaysian government are doing that. I do think this week they are starting to open up as more and more vaccine rollout being have. The country is going through almost touching 500,000 vaccination a day for Malaysia, and that's pretty good news. Is to get up to higher vaccination to have help. No doubt you will get the Delta variant causing more hospitalization, hopefully a little bit more less death. So it's important for you to get vaccination. And very similar, I do think that is likely to pan out also in US, and that's why we see the rebound that we have. If my analysis is it's right on this basis in here, so going forward, market will continue to go up. But yet tonight, it's something we are hoping for is this week. Yeah, that's right. Apple's earning. Definitely Apple earning usually will do well coming leading into the Apple 13 launch in here. But usually this is not a time to buy. This is a time to think to sell. And we have seen in the past earnings season that Apple has, usually after earnings season, you have a bit of profit taking, and that's the time best to buy. So right now, if you look at Apple, let's turn our attention to S&P 500 in here after giving you my prognosis where the market is. No doubt, if you look back to the S&P 500, because of the big sell-off that we have just on top of me here, we have the Delta variant coming in, and that's what we even close below the ATR stop loss. So having said that, on chart wise, everything is turning downwards, and of course there are many talks of people taking money off in here. The trends is still up. There will be a lot of shakeout. If you notice, even back in 20th of June there, just on top of me here, there was another shakeout, and then market finally turned. The market doesn't like bull. The market will continue to shake out, and this kind of shakeout that you see are very, very healthy. This is how the market actually go higher. The more fear that we've seen as the market much higher, this is one you want to do. Of course, so for those of you who have individual stock, just trade them. If you're a beginner, using the green pentagon. For those of you who have a bit more experience, trade to the buy up or trade to some good location, looking at the trade setup after that one. All right. So what we have here is pretty good. So S&P 500 looking very positive in here. You can see Apple was up 2.6%, just up in here. Even General GE, all right, and Ford. Now, Ford is one of the big runners. For those of you who like electric car, Ford is really coming back in, which is a better bet compared to Tesla. I will talk more about it maybe tonight, a chance for you to talk about Ford in here. Another chance because it's coming down from a very low base. Remember, Ford now are really focusing, going gangbang on the electric car, and they're coming out with the Mustang electric cars, and that seems to be picking up. We'll take some little bit of a market share from Tesla too. So check it out in there. Check out Ford, okay, F, item number 3. Because it seems to be bearish rating 90% there. Okay, so let's move on to the next area that we talk about is the RHB. Now this is on RHB upgrading daily farmer. Now we are in Singapore market in here. If you look at Singapore market where we are, let's give you a bit more background in Singapore. Singapore market very similar to Malaysia. Having said that, but Malaysia is trending down. It's holding up at the base here. Right, partly it's because they do have some sort of a minor lockdown. They're going through restricting their dine-in from 5 people to 2 people in here, but that didn't have much of an impact in Malaysia, where Malaysia cases gone to 6 digit. Right now we all know Indonesia is hitting 59,000. The question is, will they hit 60,000? Right, but the authority in Indonesia are really focusing on even 100,000 new cases due to the Delta variant per day. Hopefully that doesn't come to Malaysia with our continued vaccination, which seems to be very, very high because of the Pfizer and Sinovac. Maybe a triple boost will help that. So you can see from here, the STI still holding up in here. And this stock, which is in play, RHB, talking about daily pharma. Now, so take a look at the Carepls DC rates. One of the stocks that came into my understanding. Let's take a look at the daily farm, which is D01 here. Okay, D01, and let's look at the stock chart and stock price in here. Trends are definitely going down, and this was a play purely on the recovery play there. All right, so let's take a look at daily farm. This morning, did it go a bit higher? Yeah, just 0.5% only. But the stocks that I really like is QNS, which is on your which is actually a mining company in Singapore, but from Malaysia actually. You can see this one, they do a little bit of gold, and you can see this is a very nice chart here. Have a nice base building in here, picks up and shoots straight up in here. Take a look at this one in here. If it does have some sort of pullback, this will be a nice stock to retest back the 150. Those of you who want to trade, this will be a better stock, QNS. All right. And of course, the Carepls DC rate continues, something you want to watch out for the data center. That stock has done very well for me over the past. That is a long-term take for that one. All right. Now let's move on to our market leaderboard. Now market leaderboard continue to had two more new entrants in here. Item number 6 and item number 7. First one is Hexa Global, went up by 20%. That's the stock that we talk about on the 14th of July, and also Hexa on the Penta, and then Penta on the 14th July, which is went up by 7.4% in here. So if you look at the stocks so far on our past lesson learned, we have picked up JHM, MI, Penta, and also Hexa. Of course, item 1 to item 3 are all technology stocks. As I said before, if you look from the going back to KLSE, switching it back to Robie chart, and you're going back to hot sector, you definitely know, switch here. The hot sector is still showing technology, industrial, and property, right? Of course, we are looking at Monday because Tuesday is a holiday. So that's what we are seeing right now in here. So all the stocks are trending up very slowly. As I said before, Apple at one point, when the earning comes out this weekend, you'll see a bit of profit taking, and probably some of those stocks where we talk here will also go through that. Let's take a look at the JHM here. Okay, JHM. All right, JHM is something where you pick up. This is a very nice chart. Goes up like a staircase, right? Goes up, come down, goes up, come down, goes up, and probably a retest back to 250. It's possible. So if we have those technology stock, and I think many of you been following this channel would have some or one or two of in technology, but don't go everything all on technology, and don't go everything all on rubber glove. That's the mistake that most people have. They tend to either bang too hard, and when you're too overcommitted, right, not able to cut loss. Another thing, remember, as the market goes higher, always remember to take profit if you have a chance. Now let's look at the other part that we are looking at is the MI. Okay, next one is we pick on the 7th of July. So okay, let's take a look at this. When we first picked them up on 7th of July, which is around here, just around here, markets going up. There was a nice pullback. And eventually there's going to be a line change taking out this uptrust. So you can actually set an alert in TradingView when it hits $2, 220 here, 218, 220. You can really go in, or if you know how to read the chart, just this is a nice trending stocks here. Okay, so let's look at MOI, Technovation, right? And 1, 2, 3, again all the same lah. Just waiting, and there are a lot of low volume tests here. Very nice test, a lot of strength, right? A lot of strength, and this is what you want to see usually in a typical VSA kind of setup. Very nice setup in here. MI, then we go to Penta. Okay, Penta today have profit taking after been moving up, which is a 7.4% that we have. All right, and Hexa has done very well. Okay, which we pick it up on the 14th of July. Hexa Global, this was here. The turned green pentagon, so we went in on the 14th. So good to check out a bit earlier. So on the 14th, you can see no pullback, just keep straight going. Of course, Hexa, we all know it's a rubber glove and chemical, if I'm not mistaken, rubber glove and chemical. That one's continue to go up in here. Volumes are very nice. Push up, low volume in here. So take note, get ready to take profit, those of you for Hexa. It's still up 20%, which is a good one here. But all things being equal, pay attention to any sign of weakness, okay? Like on the hourly chart, weakness in here. Again, on the KLCI, we have an uptrust. So do take note, if there is no follow through to the sell side, market moves sideways, and usually we're going to get a breakout. The breakout takeout of the KLCI, many of these stocks will continue to move higher. That's how I see the trend going forward. The 1500 may be tested, but all is going to depend on going forward, because right now everything that's going forward will have probably very good news. If our Prime Minister today talk about the relaxation of the restriction, especially those are fully vaccinated, which is something that I'm looking forward. That means the economy will continue to open a bit higher. Rubber stock will come down a bit. We can take some of the rubber glove stock. Of course, my benchmark will be Top Glove in here. You can see Top Glove is picking up just a little bit, but if you take attention to Riverstone, okay, this is Top Glove. You can see, let's look at Riverstone, which is another rubber glove maker, Riverstone AP4. You can see AP4 is started to move up higher, right? Much earlier in here. That's another one, Sri Trang, which is a Thailand one. Sri Trang glove, right? You can see Sri Trang. This one just got listed only. You can see. So we don't have a trend, unfortunately, for Sri Trang glove. You get a lot of this, what we call got volume, no volume in here. But let's switch back to AP4, which will give you a very nice picture in here. And if you look at that, the Singapore side did not fall as much as we see here. So if you look from the peak here, okay, let's do the examination in here. Malaysian selling has been overdone from here to this part. You can see that's about 34%. And how about this one here? Okay, from here to here, as you can see, right, it's only 20%. One is 30%, one is 20%. So you can see somehow the the retailer, as I said before, maybe is this due to the institutional forced selling, and that's why we got the big sell-off that we see on the 30% in here. Or in Singapore side here, many people are not that concerned. It's a much bigger field purely, and that's what we don't see the kind of selling that we do. All right. So this is the what we have so far. All right. So let's move on to the stocks that we have for you this week. For episode 95, 21st of July, we have two stocks, BIG and Carepls. Okay. Since we are this, I'm going to bring up two charts for you here. BIG. Okay, now BIG in here, I like this chart because you can see low volume accumulations, and then you have the big climatic volume. Now usually climatic volume market will pull back. You have this uptrust, the market's going to test it out in here. All right, check it out whether BIG is going into some rubber glove or something. Something's happening for BIG glove, okay? So we can go to switch back to BIG. Let's check out the news. Okay, BIG. Let's go on to the news. Okay. Now there's not much of there's no much of a related news in here. Okay. So that's on BIG here. So let's look at the fundamentals first. Okay. So the fundamentals on BIG, it's still a negative losing company. Okay. So this is definitely a trading stocks. Okay. It is been a growth stock so far for this year, right? And you can see the 4-year trend, right? Okay, profit margin is about 2% in here, right? 5%. So it's a losing company in here. So that tells you it's not for longer term, just purely trading. And if you go in, have some sort of decent return, probably you want to exit. Okay, So take a look and know your profit objective when you're going. So the next one we have is Carepls, another rubber glove. Another rubber glove here. So rubber glove, very decent, and you have a nice pickup here today, 9%. Since Green Pentagon already, so you have this nice pullback. So that's telling you a lot of the rubber glove is going to pick up in here, okay? And that's going to be good, okay? So those are the two stocks we will come back and review next week, okay? Let's move on to our next section here. Right, that we have in our breakfast show. We want to look at the news this morning here, okay? So go to SMARTRobie in here and looking at KLCI sentiment, okay? So the news is positive. KLCI slip, but Haley Group holds steady. Spotlight on the dual pharma, okay, revenue, okay, that's IBM, BJ Corp and Suncon are trying to break away. AirAsia. So we have the AirAsia. AirAsia is not going anywhere, you know, with this right in here, and the news continue to be positive. So check out whether there is worthwhile. BJ Corp, Bajaya Care Foundation donate went to NCSM. Sunway attempt to break away from consolidation. Maybe look at Sunway Con. All right, let's take a look at Sunway Con. So 5263. Just curious. Okay, looking at a stock chart here. No green pentagon yet. Okay, so that's how we look at it. If it's a green pentagon, I'll be interested. All right, let's move on to our next, just an update. We are still at 11.6% for our SMARTRobie portfolio this year compared to about -3 to -6%. So how has your portfolio been doing in here? Now we did a survey this year on our Saturday, one of our Saturday Zoom in here, and it's interesting to find out that we have 60% of people did not making money. Now this year is not an easy year, to be frank with you. So do share with me how we can help you on able to make money so far. Did you have a plan? Did you have the right education in here? And it is part and parcel of our delivery to you to ensure that you should make money year in, year out by having the right strategy. If you are not, what did it go wrong? Else, if you can't make money for the last 5 years or so, and when you say make money, we need to achieve some sort of what we call required rate of return. Right, and sometimes interesting to note to speak to some of our members in here. Before they were trained, before they came to our program, they've been losing year for the last 7 years. And finally, we hope that through our programs and our tools and our mentoring coaching, we're able to turn them to finally making money every year. After all, you invested so long of your time. If you can't make money, why bother? All right, to learn for more. Of course, we will look at the hot sectors which I have shown you earlier on. Hot sectors was we get technology, industrial, property. So those are the usual suspect in here. All right. Again, some of the trade setup we continue to show for is a trade like this one. Definitely just now, Carepls, Carepls, and what are the two stocks in here? Let me just bring this up here and show you. You can see, right, this is those two stocks that we seen that continue to move upwards, okay? And this is a schematic, as I said before, right? So this is what we want to train ourselves for, okay? Always train on, and of course you can watch more tutorial to that, and that's one of the talks where we'll cover more. It will be on our masterclass. For those of you who are interested in our August intake, do register for our masterclass in here. You'll be on the mid-August, just about another 3 or 4 weeks. We'll be doing a preview on our masterclass, so make sure you join us then. All right, and don't forget tonight, our special talk for the technology sector update and also review. We'll be looking at the Malaysian market and also at the US market and some of the stocks that have potential run for the second half of the year. So join me then, and next Wednesday, we will have another special talk, how to select stock that is ready to move higher with Pentagon Guide. And not to forget, our one-day VSA course, all for, especially for our members, and those of you who are interested to sign up for our one-day trade VSA, we still have the package in here. That's a number you should call it up and register. So that's where we actually get in more about what you see on the charts up here. All right, and right now, that's right. Thank you. We're going to be switching over right now to the stock charts and comment that you want me to review. And of course, special priority will be given to our users, and we do appreciate for the good things that we have done so far to go over our Google Play Store and Apple Play Store to give us a review and like us on Facebook. All right, thank you very much in here. So let's look at some of the charts that you guys want me to look at. Definitely we will do that right now. Okay, Avanta did not turn. Okay, let's take a look at Avanta. Okay. Now, Avanta did not turn. Again, things like this, when we have climatic volume on 20%, Pentagon Guider are designed to avoid. Anything that has climatic volume, they're designed to avoid it. All right, take note. Because we have found out, right, what Tom Williams said. When you have wide range bar with climatic volume, you can see that climatic volume was a turquoise color bar. Usually we get pullbacks, and usually we will have sell off, and that's the reason why there were no. If you notice on this part here, you can see this one here, again another climatic, right? You can see 20th of March. If there was a green pentagon, you would have caught, but instead there were no buy call or no entry, and the market actually is still in there. So this is how the Pentagon Guider is to avoid, especially for beginner, to avoid going in and jumping in when you see wide range. But you look at this one, it went up by 21%, and this one went up by 23%. Beginner like to jump into all these big markup. They say, hey, today is up 25 cents. Oh, sorry, 25%. Tomorrow, chincai so 10%, right? Because it is what we call associated bias, right? But take note, this is where smart money will trap you. All right, take note of it. Okay, yeah, the lie, I think I explained this a lot from here. Okay, thank you for those of you who is listening from. All right, it's great to know. Okay, QES to exit the ATR stop loss. Just follow the ATR stop loss at 79 cents if you have not exited. If you break below the 77 cents, do exit it. Okay, great tech. All the tech stocks will do well, as I said before, right? Yep, this one in here. So the question is, you always want to buy here, right? A lot of people like to buy at the breakout. This is where you want to be buying if you have a chance, okay? At around 550 in here, right? And learn how to trade in between this kind, things that we see. Learn to read the chart, learn to find out good location to trade, learn how to read pullbacks, and this is something we teach in our one-day course and our masterclass by our coach in here. I think it's important to know all this. The Pentagon Guider, it's a very basic, very simple for beginner to follow. It tells you when to get in and tells you when to exit. All right, let's look at the SamCam. Okay, SamCam is something that we bought in the past, right? SamCam entry, enter here lah. Green Pentagon already here, right? You should enter it here around the 75 cents here. Okay, so if you want to enter this, very simple. Just go over to Green Pentagon, to the trading plan and look at the trading plan. All right, check out the trading all, learn how to read between the chart and learn the right location. I think that's important too. Okay, we have a Dufu over here. Dufu, you got resistance, okay, at 473 right now, showing a bit of weakness. There's no breakdown yet. Okay, just keep in mind. Let me just turn on the ATR stop loss here. Which I have it here. This is the one. Yep. Okay. Not that one. Sorry. Okay. Probably I'm just using this side here because this is Trading View. So those of you who have Trading View plugin who is subscribed to it, you probably get the same thing as what I'm seeing in here. Maybe just to switch back to here, right? So if you don't, think about getting the very good software that you see in here, real time, that will definitely help you here. So you can see the ATR stop loss is about 420 here. Okay. All right. Next one. Okay. The other one is NS and GP. Okay. After the NS GP, I don't know what context was this. Okay. Let's talk about Maybao. Maybao, yeah, it's the ATR stop loss is here. Okay, So we have it in here, we haven't exited yet. That's how simple it is. Just follow the ATL stop loss. If we break below, we exit. If not, we continue to run it. All right, it's not that difficult over there. Okay, we got D next. Someone will look at D next. D next, yeah, green pentagon, right? Nice one in here. Just trade on the green pentagon. Do take note, we have the climatic volume in here. Market pullback, definitely down 2% in here. If not, you can wait for the takeout of the old high or learn to buy the pullback at the spring, right? Remember, this is what we teach you in our master class here. But the green pentagon, it does signify use a trading plan if you want to go higher and have some sort of a trading plan. I think that's important. If the market, as I said before, KLCI were to move higher, everything's good. But right now, the KLCI is not moving up higher, so a lot of things going to move sideways in here. Usually, if you follow our Pentagon trading simulation trading strategy, which we will teach in our courses, right, we tell you to follow the KLCI, okay? And that's something, if you continue to do well, you will benefit. And that's how you make the 11%, right? So far that we have almost 12% in here compared to the market down 3% here. Don't simply go and shoot everything. Right? At the end of the day, ask yourself, the last 6 months, January to July, have you made money yet? Not those that make money, your entire portfolio. Look at how much you started with. Draw your equity curve, right? If you don't measure, you don't know whether you make or not. If you don't know whether you make or not, it doesn't really matter whether you make money or not. All you want is just excitement to buy and sell. But if you don't make money, why bother? Because we need to get our required rate return. And I always say before, the whole point what we are doing is to build your portfolio to hit your $1 million target. Right? If you start from 20,000, we have a specific date how you hit your 1 million. And that's always been the goal of what we do here. Of course, if you start out with 300,000, we like to hit it within 7 years to 1 million. And that's the challenges I give to all my students and many of you in here. If you can make from 20,000 with a specific timeline to hit 1 million, what's the point of just trading in, trading out and not able to make money? If you are trading in, trading out, making money, and that's good, follow some sort of system, right? So ask yourself, do you have a system or not? If you don't have a system, then who is guiding you? Are you just going to listen here, listen there to some guru to give you one stock that make all the money? It's not going to happen like that. All right, let's be serious. Okay, let's go on to, okay, we have another one, GOB. This is a property stock, very nice. Take off in here, green pentagon, no breakdown. You can see here, did not hit the ATR stop loss, okay? Take off, and that's good, okay? So this is the kind of stock, but you will probably get a bit of resistance around the 41 cents here, okay? Great. Okay, let's take a look at the next, what we have for you. So, okay, that's where we are. Right. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all our educational material, our breakfast show, and our Wednesday live in here. And also our collaboration with Rakuten Trade. Do open up account with them and stand a chance to win a 50 ringgit voucher in here. And finally, do share this Telegram chat group for all stock informations, research, and trading idea that we have for you in here. With that, I bid you a good day for the remaining of the day, and I'll see you tonight for our live FB on technology sector review for the second half of 2021. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.